Hey, what's going on YouTube? Today, for no particular reason, I wanted to take you on an archaeological internet dig, where we're going to look at one of the most honest and tragic 4chan green texts I've ever heard. Now, for those of you that don't know, 4chan is a strange place because it holds what some might consider to be the dregs of humanity, you know, and many have held it to be the villain of the internet for years. But I think that there are lessons to be learned. So, if you're not aware, one of the most important aspects of 4chan is the concept of anonymity. The posters there do not have usernames. You're not able to identify them from day to day, week to week, month to month. One of the other most important aspects is that eventually all posts will be deleted. Nothing is permanent there. Essentially, it's just the newest to oldest, you know, so you make a post on Tuesday. Depending on the speed of the born, maybe it's gone tomorrow, maybe it's gone in 20 minutes. But the combination of anonymity and the transience of the board have allowed for a particular kind of environment to flourish. Many people perceive anonymity in a negative way. They see anonymity as a shroud with which to obscure your intentions, obscure your identity. It is a tool with which you can say things that you could never say or would never say with the persona of your identity on. But what I argue is that anonymity is not a shroud. Your identity is the shroud. If there are things that you would say if you were anonymous that you would not say while wearing your identity, which one is the true you? I would argue that you are wearing your identity to obscure your true self. Occasionally I'll get people in my chat out to the main channel, asking me why I wear a mask. You know, why do I want to hide my face? And I think a very honest answer, I feel more like myself with the mask on than with it off. Maybe that sounds edgy, but the truth is I'm just a little bit autistic. When I'm out in public, I have a thought that's difficult to squash. I'm always concerned with how my face is being perceived, like what emotions I'm displaying to the world. And I don't know why I care, but it's something that I always think about. And when I have a mask on, I know exactly how I'm being perceived. What you see here is carefully curated. What you see here is sort of a manner of control. I am controlling how I am perceived. In all honesty, I probably never would have started YouTube if I had to show my face. So this is sort of what I mean when I say that there is a special environment on 4chan. There is an honesty that can come with anonymity. Just like I can do and say things with the mask on that I couldn't otherwise. I could never make this video if not for the mask. People can express themselves and be honest in a way that I don't think is possible outside of 4chan. And this is an exact example. I'm going to read you what I think is one of the most tragic green texts ever. This post is from 2015, which is crazy because I think I've thought about this every week since I read it. Who knows when. So, 10-year anniversary. Sad things you do. Be a kid. Come home from school. Mom works an evening shift at the gas station. So immediately this gives us some economic information about this anon. He's most likely from lower middle class or lower class if mom has to work an evening shift at the gas station. She leaves pizza for me. Have 2 games for my Super Nintendo. Again, more economic information. The Super Nintendo was probably a treasured gift from mom, you know, scraped together just enough money to get a Super Nintendo and 2 games. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters and the Addams Family. Put pizza in the oven and use watch to time it. Play a game while pizza cooks. Often get distracted by my games. This is like such an honest child thing to remember that somehow I immediately know everything is true here. Because you might think that anonymity would give you the agency to just lie about everything. But then you get things like this that are incredibly honest and cut right to the soul. Have burnt pizza most nights, but eat it anyway. Usually asleep by the time mom gets home. We'd chat for a while if I was still out playing games. Ooh. One night on her way home, she was hit by a drunk driver and she died. This statement is delivered with zero embellishment. And I know from the simple matter-of-fact way it's said that it is true with absolute certainty. This is not a lie. This is not a farce. This is simply the reality of this anon's life. Gotta compose myself. In my 20s now, Occasionally, I'll play TMNT and Addams Family on a Super Nintendo and a fat old CRT TV and eat burnt pizza. Eating burnt pizza comforts me, regardless of the taste. Pretend mom is still out there, working at the gas station. Go to bed early so the illusion isn't broken. I gotta compose myself. This is so raw. Oh, it's so raw. This hurts every time to read it because of the incredible honesty that this anon laid bare in this. You know, it's barely 30 lines. This is more real than any Hollywood movie. This kind of speaks to a vulnerability crisis in young men. I hate to segue into such a cheesy topic, but this is something so incredibly vulnerable. You would never tell the homies this. I can't imagine ever opening up to anyone. I don't think you could torture this out of your average young man. He goes to bed early so the illusion isn't broken. That is just one of the all-time rawest things I have ever read. Now, honestly, I don't have a good way to end this video. I'm not even sure why I'm making this. It's just something that has stuck with me emotionally for years. I think about it often, and maybe we can learn a lesson about emotional vulnerability from this. Maybe even a lesson about treasuring what anonymity can give. I think the moral of the story is, go call your mother. Go call your loved ones. Peace out, YouTube.